Yo, what is going on, everyone? My name is Mewtwo Fan Nate, and I am your coach of the New York Noibats. It is the 6th week of the P4G, and we are going up against Gregulator and his team, the LA Zydodgers. The Zydodgers, right? That's correct, right? It's nothing. I'm pretty sure. Yes, I think so. I could be wrong. I'm sorry if I'm wrong. And Greg has a very threatening team, and we are going to be going over the team that we are bringing against him. So if you guys are new here, you want to hit that like button, maybe subscribe, I'd really appreciate it. And if you guys are from my side and you want to go check out Greg, links in the description. I highly recommend checking him out. He's a very skilled battler. I think he's currently like 4-1 or 5-1, something like that. Like or 4-1. I think I could be wrong. I don't know math of the tallies of what week we're in and stuff, but he's won almost every single one of his games. I'm terrified of the matchup, and we're just gonna have to try our best. I don't think we're gonna win, but we're gonna do our best. So currently, at the time of recording this, me and Greg, well, Greg brought it up to me. It's not like a definite, but I think my team is gonna stay the same regardless. He says if I don't bring Dodrio, he won't bring Lycanroc Dusk, which would be awesome for me because Lycanroc Dusk kind of destroys my team. And so, just spoiler alert, I don't have Dodrio on this team. So I think, I mean, I'll be a little sad if he does back down from it, but because I've already built my team without Dodrio, because I just was kind of assuming that we're gonna do the thing. But I think we're gonna keep it no matter what, because I think this is. I can't think of anything else on my team that I would take out and put Dodrio on for. So I think we're going to just roll with it, okay? So if you guys don't know how I like to do my team builders, pretty much what we do is we kind of throw up the Pokemon that we both drafted, talk about team matchup and things like that, and then we kind of go over the sets. So I'm going to pull up my team, and you guys can see it right there. We have in order of fastest to slowest. That's actually the wrong team. We're gonna pretend that's a GameFreak, okay? Because I didn't change it yet. So instead of no Delphox, we have a GameFreak on our team, okay? Okay, cool. And pretty much my team consists of a Selgor, Dodrio, GameFreak, because that's definitely a draft, and Electivire, Vaporeon, the Pangoro, Piloswine, Shelgon, Wigglytuff, Lurantis, and Doublade. He has a team that consists of Lycanroc Dusk, Shaman, Ribombee, Swampert, Quillfish. I don't know why I was going to say Pillowfish, because it's definitely not a Pillowfish. It's a Quillfish, and Moltres, Fortress, the Toxicroak, Alolan Raticate, Chimecho, and Pachirisu. And the thing about his team, it's so threatening. Like overall, like almost every single one of his Pokemon has potential setup options, and they can just sweep me. Outside of maybe like Shaman, because I don't think Shaman gets a lot of a lot of setup options. Maybe it gets Curse or something that I don't know about, but mostly it's almost everything on there. Maybe I don't think Pachirisu gets set up unless it's like Nasty Plot. I don't think it does. And then Fortress doesn't really get set up unless it's like Curse, but I usually don't see those type of things anyway. So I'm expecting like pretty much anything on his team could go for some sort of setup move, except for probably those three. And the thing about that makes it really scary, because I know he's not going to bring like mono setup, but it just makes it very impossible for me to predict what set he's going to bring, because they're pretty much all viable against me. Like he could bring like a agility Z-move Moltres and it could just totally wreck me. He could bring it like super bulky, maybe with some Will-O-Wisp, or maybe Will-O-Wisp, or maybe like Toxic. I don't know why I said Will-O-Wisp twice. He could run like a Z Sunny Day set with like Solar Beam, and they all just do really well against me. Like he could bring like an offensive Quillfish, or bulky like Spike's Lead, maybe Destiny Bond. Like all of those sets super viable against me. They could do a lot of work to my team, and I don't know which one he's gonna bring. So very hard for me to predict what he's gonna bring. I don't know if he's gonna bring like a Calm Mind Recover, Shimeko, if he's going to bring like a Healing Wish one. Swampert matches up really well against Piloswine, one of my stealth rockers, so you could bring that as a lead, or he could just run that as like a cursed setup sweeper. And I don't know how I'm going to deal with all these different options. Shaman might just be like a substitute seed set. Maybe it's offensive Life Orb with 4 attacks, or maybe like Life Orb 3 attacks and like Synthesis. It's going to be impossible. The only thing that I can be pretty darn sure about is Rabombi. I think he has to bring a Quiver Dance 3 attack set. I don't see him bringing Sticky Webs. We have a competitive Wigglytuff, which I know doesn't sound like it's super scary, but I think he might be a little bit of a little fearful of it, because I did draft it round 1, and I think he doesn't want to like lose to it at all. He doesn't want to give it the slightest chance of doing anything against him. So I don't think he's gonna bring like a set, like a Sticky Web set with his Rabombi. I think that's gotta be like Quiver Dance, Bug Buzz, Moonblast, and then Hidden Power Fire. Like, I don't see him bringing anything else. Maybe instead of Moonblast, maybe like a grass move like Energy Ball or Giga Drain or something like that. Maybe for like a Vaporeon. I don't know exactly, but I'm pretty sure it has to be like Quiver Dance 3 attacks. I definitely like see that coming. I feel like after one Quiver Dance, he could sweep my entire team. He might, like, yeah, definitely, yeah. I don't see him not bringing that. So I think that a lot of his like setup mons, like another thing is like a Alolan Raticate, because I think it'd be like, I've seen him bring that against John, and he just totally like cleaned up the game with that. And the thing gets knockoff, Sucker Punch, Quick Attack. Like, I don't know if he's gonna bring that. But considering I do have like a pretty heavy knockoff weakness on my team with like a bunch of Eevee-like Pokemon, we have the Giraffe Rig now, which is also weak to knockoff. I don't want really any of my berries to get knocked off this week, so I'm kind of fearful of that thing. Toxicroak is also a huge threat. After a Swords Dance, anything that it outspeeds, it can just pretty much get a kill on, and that doesn't make me happy. Lycanroc Dusk, Swords Dance with Accelerock. Accelerock just bodies everything on my team. Like, I don't really have anything for it aside from maybe my Doublade, and Doublade has to come for the Rabombi, so it's going to get weakened, and then Lycanroc Dusk can kind of just clean me up. So it's kind of like, it's a really bad matchup for me. I mean, regardless, I don't have a good matchup any week because of the memes that I tried to draft. But regardless, I think we're still gonna try our best, and I think this is the best team that we could have made. Maybe Dodrio could have fit on this team somewhere, but that's where I want you guys to come in and let me know in those comments down below what you think of like the matchup, the team that I built. Should I have taken out a certain mom, thrown in Dodrio, and that kind of thing. So now we're just going to kind of go over what I think about my team versus him. This might have been a little bit dragged out, and I apologize, but I think Aselgor has a fantastic matchup, as you guys can see on the screen, because it outspeeds everything on his team, and it generally gets good coverage for pretty much the majority of his mons. Like, it does a really good job of being like a cleanup thing, maybe like just an offensive wall breaker. It has a lot of cool offensive presence against his team, and I think aside from like a priority move like maybe the Accelerock, I think we're okay against his team. So hopefully he doesn't like back out of it, and even if he does, I think this is still viable against his team. I think that my Electivire pretty much can come in and claim a kill on anything as long as we have like some Stealth Rocks up. Everything's taking a little bit of damage. I think our Kaminari, the Electivire, has a really solid matchup. Like, he doesn't know if it's going to be physical or special. It gets coverage against pretty much everything on his team, and I do like that a lot. I think that Piloswine has a terrible matchup against his team. I think everything on his team just hits it for super effective damage, aside from maybe maybe the Alolan Eradicate, but then we get knocked off. So I think other than that, maybe Pachirisu doesn't get hit like a grass move or water move, but I don't know. So I mean, other than that, like, it just has a really bad matchup. We don't want it to get Super Fanged from the Pachirisu, so I don't think it's a really good bring. So that kind of forces us to bring the Wigglytuff for Stealth Rocks, which actually has a decent matchup against this team. And I think that our Doublade has a really good matchup against some of his things, like the Lycanroc Dusk and the Ribombee. We do have to bring it Spadef, or else we can't really take those hits from the Ribombee. But I think we can just kind of go into the sets now. So we're kind of going to just do that, because I don't think it's really necessary to talk about like the other parts. So because I can kind of just mix them two together. I don't want to waste a lot of your time. But so maybe you guys want to watch this on like 1.25 speed. I don't know. Anyway, so the first set we have here is our Torune, and it is a Expert Belt set, Bug Buzz, Energy Ball, Hidden Power Fire, Water Shuriken. So cool moveset, right? The Water Shuriken is nice. We have enough speed to outspeed a max speed Ribombee. We threw the rest in our special attack with a Modest Nature just to hit as hard as we can, and then we threw the rest into HP. And this pretty much gives me a really good wall breaker. Like, it does a lot of damage to the Chimecho, the Alolan Eradicate. It hits the Shaman very hard. Anything that we don't hit with Bug Buzz, like, we can hit Energy Ball, like the Lycanroc Dusk. We can hit Swampert, Quillfish for neutral damage. We hit the Ribombee and the Fortress with Hidden Power Fire. Toxicroak also does not really want to take a Hidden Power Fire if it's dry skin, so that's kind of cool. The Water Shuriken is really clean for the Moltres. It does over 50% as if he's offensive. It also does over 50% to the Lycanroc Dusk, which is cool. So, and it is priority, so we should be, unless he has like a Rock Polish up for whatever reason, then we can kind of just go for Water Shurikens and outspeed him with because we will outspeed him naturally, plus we like our priority over the Accelerock because of the speed, how the speed things work, and we should be okay. So I think that's what that's going to be like the set that, that's like the most optimal for us. The next Pokemon we're going to talk about is our Electivire. Like I was saying, it has a really good matchup. Now, this is another Expert Belt Pokemon, and I think that's just fine. I don't want to take Life Orb damage. I want to keep everything as healthy as possible, and we don't really need the Life Orb to get the kills that I need. So we have Hidden Power Grass for the Swampert. We have Thunderbolt for the Moltres. We have Flamethrower for that Fortress, and Earthquake for the Pachirisu. And it just, Thunderbolt is really generally good stab against everything. Flamethrower also does give us a way to hit the Shaman. Thunderbolt, again, hits pretty much everything else neutrally. And then we need Earthquake on there. And even though, like, we don't have that much in attack, it does give us enough to 2-KO a max defense bold Pachirisu. And it's kind of cool the way it worked out, because I only needed a little bit of speed to outspeed, I think it was the Moltres. And the thing about the leftovers in our attack, it actually guaranteed the 2-KO on the Pachirisu, whereas if it was like no attack investment, it pretty much didn't guarantee it. Like I think it did like 47 minimum, and then like, so I mean, we could have probably gotten it with a high roll, but the 32 in attack gave us the 50 minimum to guarantee the 2-KO with no rocks, so that's cool. And again, Motor Drive, solid ability if he wants to bring something like Pachirisu with Nuzzle, Thunder Wave. I'm going to be a little upset if he does click Super Fang on us, because I don't want this to get super weakened, because I do want to be able to live one Accelerock, because I can live one from full if it's not like Swords Danced Up or anything like that, even with like the minus defense nature. Maybe if he's Banded, he might be able to get me from full. But we don't have like we don't have a lot of physical defense, and we're hasty nature, so it's gonna be a struggle. So the next Pokemon we're gonna talk about is our Tickles. Focus Sash, Frisk, Grass Knot, Stealth Rock, Flamethrower, and Psychic. I actually have a max speed, max special attack variant this week because we are focus ashed. This actually does give us a pretty cool way of potentially speed creeping a non-invested Quillfish. So if Quillfish has no speed in it at all, like let's just say it's like max HP, max defense, max special defense, we can outspeed this by one. We can outspeed it by 1 point. We definitely, if the Swampert isn't running a lot of speed to speed creep the tickles or anything like that, and if it's just like max HP, max defense, something like that, not running speed, we do have a really solid chance of outspeeding it. We will actually know pretty much right away with, like, because this is pretty much going to be the dedicated lead. I'm kind of scared of him running something like a taunt lead, but we do have very good coverage for pretty much everything on there. So if he does decide to taunt us turn 1, we still have a focus sash on us and we can get off big damage. Like we could do big damage to the Quillfish with Psychic. Grass Knot does a lot to the Swampert. Flamethrower does a lot to the Fortress, which are all like solid lead options on his part. Like, I don't know how much it does to the Lycanroc Dusk, so I could probably calc that right now. Wigglytuff Tickles against Lycanroc Dusk. Grass Knot does 49 to 58%, so it is a 2-hit KO. So it'll do over 50% to that thing. And that looks like a good time to me. So I think that this set gives us the option to get up Stealth Rocks, which are super important for his Moltres. Doesn't really do too much for us other than that. Like, I mean, he does have the Rabombi. He has a few different hazard removing options, such as Chimecho, Rabombi, and Fortress. And I guess the Moltres might also have Defog, but I don't really see him bringing that. I feel like that's more of an offensive Pokemon. Then we're going to talk about our Lancelot, the Doublade, which is pretty much a max HP, max Spadef variant. Gyro Ball, Rock Slide, Toxic, and Shadow Claw. So I don't know how this set is going to work out too well. I wanted to... Like, I was trying to play around with the EVs a little bit earlier, but I just don't feel comfortable enough to not run max Spadef, because with the calcs I was messing with, like, for example, Rabombi, if it's like not like modest life orb or anything like that, let's just say if it was like timid, and I'll pull up the calcs right now because I don't remember them off the top of my head. And what I can do is I can actually just kind of copy and paste this in here, and I'll just let you know in a second. Let's just do paste, import. Alright, so if I do Doublade versus the Rabombi. Alright, so Rabombi against me, if he does go for the Hidden Power Fire, it does 25 to 30% if he's not like modest life orb. If he's like timid life orb, 33 to 39. If he is at +1, if he's timid life orb +1, does 47 to 56. So that's timid life orb +1. If he's just life orb with no, boost or anything, it'll be 36 to 43. So I mean, if he's not life orb and he does get to +1, let's just say he's like Z move for whatever reason, maybe it'll do 36 to 43. So at +1, non-boosted, timid, it does 36 to 43. If he's modest, it does 41 to 48. So non-boosted +1, we're not 2-hit KO'd by it, and Gyro Ball is guaranteed Uno hit KO. All right, so it does a lot of damage. And we do have Rock Slide on there potentially to hit the incoming Moltres, which might want to switch into this because Moltres can be ran bulky, and it can easily take like any kind of steel moves. It can take the ghost moves just fine because of its bulk. I think that if we can get a like prediction right and we go for a Rock Slide on that thing switching in, maybe, but we should be okay. I have Toxic on there just to potentially wear some things down, like maybe the Swampert, because we can live in Earthquake, maybe the Shaman, maybe the Alolan Raticate, the Chimecho, just things like that. I just want to be able to potentially wear some things down, make it a little bit easier for things like my Electivire and my Selgor to kind of get kills. So the next Pokemon I'm bringing, because I think I have to bring it, or else Moltres is going to kind of just poop on my life, and that is going to be our Vaporeon, which is holding the Rindo Berry. It's a mixed defensive set with enough Spadef to make sure that we're like living the Z Solar Beam or a Solar Beam in the Sun from a like Z Sunny Day Moltres. We have Hidden Power Psychic on there because a really solid switch into the Vaporeon is the Toxicroak, and Hidden Power Psychic does a lot of damage, and he can't kill us from full, and I think it's just a pretty good move to have on there for that thing. Scald is good just for getting burns and stuff. We do have Wish just for like general recovery. Maybe we could pass off a Wish to something else on our team. Maybe the Doublade, because we do want to make sure that Doublade can like take the hit and get back up to full. We do have our just regular defense at like 116 EVs, just because we did not need we did not need to go max Spadef, but you know, this is so it's just kind of like the leftovers, and we want to make sure that we can stay as bulky as possible to make sure that we're looking okay for switching into things like Swampert and whatnot. If he's Life Orb Toxicroak, then it could be an issue, or Swords Dance, which would be even scarier. Maybe he'll be Nasty Plot, which would be kind of interesting. I think that would be kind of fun to see, considering we do have a lot of Spadef and our special defense stat is much better. So I think that'd be kind of cool. We do have Yawn on there, which is kind of like a cool way to prevent him from like setting up on me. Like, it might force a bunch of switches, and I think that, you know, if we can put something to sleep, maybe it'll give us an option to set up with one of our other Pokemon, which kind of brings us to our Girafarig, my ex, because you already know that face was cute, but you know, that ass was something else, you know, that might bite you. So, anyway, we have a Calm Mind, Psychic, Hyper Voice, and Shadow Ball set, max speed, max HP, 4 in defense. Pretty much what this is going to do is going to be my Shaman check, because we do have the Sap Sipper ability, so you can pretty much just switch in on Shaman, like whether it's going to be a substitute Leech Seed set, whether it's going to go for Seed Flares. We can take, like, because any of its other moves are not going to be stabs, so we should be able to take one. If we do get a Calm Mind up, then we should be looking just fine. The Psychic does let me hit pretty much it lets me hit the Toxicroak for like 4 times super effective damage just to obliterate it. Hyper Voice is good damage just for like the Alolan Raticate, the pretty much anything else that's like pretty much like the Alolan Raticate. That's pretty much what I'm trying to say. I could go Dazzling Gleam. But Hyper Voice is just like a general spam move, depending on like what he has on his team. And then I have Shadow Ball for the Chimecho, because if I don't have Shadow Ball, then Chimecho walls me. I wanted to run Dazzling Gleam, but I can't have Chimecho wall me. And like I kind of need all these moves. Like I couldn't not go. I don't know. I'm not really too sure about this. Like, I need max speed to speed tie with the Toxicroak, and I need like all the coverage moves. I think I don't know if I need Hyper Voice, but going up against something that has like substitute just kind of scares me, especially if he is like substitute Leech Seed Shaman. I think the Hyper Voice is kind of clutch, and I think I need it. I don't know. It 2 KOs the Moltres after +1, so I think if he's running like more of a bulky Moltres, we might be able to outspeed him and get the damage off, which could be cool. It does generally good damage against everything on his team. I'm hoping that this is the team that gets me a win this week. We don't have a good matchup. Let me know in the comments down below what you guys think of this team, and hopefully we are gonna pick ourselves up a win. Make sure you guys go check out Greg as well. Link is in the description. I'm going to get out of here. I feel like this was a long team builder. Hopefully it wasn't like too bad or anything. So I'll see you guys later. Bye.